I think that Jay said he may not make the work session tonight, so we'll go ahead and get started.
He won't be here tonight.
He won't be here at all.
Oh, he won't be here at all tonight? Not at all?
Not at all.
Nope.
Oh, let's cut his pay. Can we do it?
Sounds good.
All right. First item on tonight's work session agenda will be an update from the Fairhope Public Schools Commission. Ms. Carrie McLemore is here. Carrie, if you want to come forward.
Thank you so much for letting us give a quick update. I'm Carrie McLemore with the Fairhope Public School Commission, and we just wanted to kind of update you. We have not done that. We've been meeting now. We're in our second academic year as the commission with the tax referendum, and now that we've gone through a year and kind of gotten started on another one, we wanted to give you guys an update of how well things are going and how much we appreciate what the city of Fairhope is doing for our schools. This last year, each principal, high school, middle school, and the 3 elementaries, each one got roughly $400,000 from the tax referendum. That was based on what they needed, what their budget needs were. Some may have come in a little lower than that, just based on different things. It has also been our goal to work towards building a reserve fund account should we see a major economic downturn like we saw back in 2008, 2009, where the school systems just really were hurting. So we're working on doing that. So we came to an agreement at our April meeting that the funding reserve account, any ad valorem collections over $2 million, which we are probably closer to that in this coming year than we thought when this first started, and all probate collections would be allocated for that reserve. So we feel like we'll be able to build up a reserve account quicker than we originally thought we would be able to. That's just something the principals and us as a commission decided would be a great thing. This year, a lot of the funding requests went towards personnel. Our principals were able to hire science and math instructional teachers. They were able to hire STEAM coaches, language arts intervention teachers, instructional paraprofessionals. 2 schools are working together with a social worker. They've outsourced that, and they've got a social worker on campus. Crisis alert security system, portions of the money went to that at the high school and the middle school. And let's see, paraprofessionals and instructional materials and resources and professional development opportunities for our teachers. And within that professional development is curriculum mapping so that they can kind of all work together, as grade levels, and from this grade level going into this grade level, there's overlapping there. So that's what the money's gone towards. It's been a great privilege to serve on this and just to see how the city has been able to provide so many more opportunities for our kids. We're looking forward to see even more at the end of this school year, now that we're kind of back a little bit normal, to see what kind of progress, our students are gaining and making. And we just want to say thank you all. And if anyone ever wants to attend a meeting, you're welcome to join us. And if you've got any questions, we're here for anything. So that was it.
Questions, council? Do you happen to know, in part of the deal when we bought the K-1 Center, we have to give the Barnwood Board of Education $300,000. And that's to go, we know it's no strings attached, but I believe they said they were going to spend that in our feeder pattern. Do you know what that was spent on?
It was spent. I would have to go back and look specifically because I was just doing the tax referendum money.
Okay.
I can find that
But you
out.
do
And
know that it was
we
spent,
do, we
okay.
do. And we let so the tax money, we keep it very tied to academics because that's what it was passed on, academic achievement. Sometimes there's some things that principals and schools need that may not be a teaching unit, but it's still something that's greatly needed. And so that K-1 Center money, we have a little bit more flexibility with that on ways they can use that within the schools. But I can get exactly what that was broken down into. Yeah, I can get
So
that
you
for
could
you.
even just put a note, you could give that to the mayor or the clerk and
Okay.
put it in our boxes or something. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be anything formal.
Okay, I can do that for you. Yeah.
Any more questions?
Yeah, I do have a question. Are they working on getting more counselors?
I don't know for sure how, I would
They-
love to see a counselor in every grade.
Yes.
It's badly needed.
Very
What
badly.
the school counselors carry on them.
Right.
And what our kids need. I would love to
Yes.
see one in every grade level, in
We
every
need more-
school.
We need
do.
more counselors.
We do, and I think that was part of getting a social worker on a couple of campuses.
Yeah, I heard the social worker.
Too.
And I know we have one mental health person. Maybe that's the social worker you're talking about.
We might, yeah, I'm not
I think
sure.
that's Ms. Garrett. But I'm an advocate for the counselors. The kids need them badly.
They do,
Yeah.
they do, I agree. And that's something, we can keep working towards, as our property values go up and more
That's-
homes
there you go.
come, there's more money there. So that's for sure something we would all love to see.
Very
So,
good. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll get that for you.
Yep, thank you, Carrie. Okay, item 2 is discussion of the Young Street Community Park Garden Project. Ms. Walker, please.
Good evening.
Hello.
So, let me see. There we go. So, the Young Street Community Park Community Garden was established more than a decade ago. They were at Young Street Park. But last year, whenever the construction of the new basketball court came to be, that garden was displaced. So for the past year, these students and this community have been missing their community garden. We are very lucky to have been awarded a grant from the Fairhope Point Clear Community Foundation, which is an affiliate of the Community Foundation of South Alabama, to help make this garden a reality. We do have budget funding working in the Parks and Recreation budget to use to aid this. But I wanted to just kind of let you know that we did receive this grant award. It's great. I wanted you to see the plan that Catherine Hall-Kaiser and Mo Nation have been working toward. Those are 2 volunteers who have done incredible work out there, not only with keeping those gardens going, but also with doing instruction with the children there at the Rotary Youth Club on growing and harvesting and weeding those plants. And they've done wonderful work, as has Tracy Miller at Rotary Youth. So this is just wanted to give you a quick little look. It might be small on your screen, but this is what they have visioned for that space. If you are looking at the side of the Rotary Youth Club, or yes, previously where the basketball court is where the garden was. There is a structure on the back end of the basketball court. On the other side of that is where this garden will go. It will include pollinators, wildflowers, plants that are native to the area, including, I know they're really excited about blueberries and lemons and satsumas. So this is kind of where we are headed for that space. And just so you see a timeline of what we're looking at, beginning this month, there will be site work. It will be done in cooperation, thanks to Pat and his crews with Parks and Recreation. It'll be done in cooperation with the installation of the new playground there at that facility, and prep work will begin. You'll see we've got continued work through the winter, including plantings and purchasing of seeds. And then in April, we hope to have a projected community open house for that space so people can come in and see what is happening there and see what a great gathering space that is. I'd love to answer any questions if you have them.
So starting this month.
Starting this month, absolutely.
When were we awarded the grant?
We were awarded the grant earlier this summer. We had to go through a grant orientation before we could make that clear, but we knew that beginning with the budget year or the fiscal year, that's when we would begin work on it. It also works really well because that's when things are a little bit, don't want to say slower because nothing is ever slow in the city of Fairhope, but it's not quite as taxing on Pat and his crews to be able to get out there and help us do site work, because I don't really know how to do site work. I'll just be straight up with you. So we're very excited about how this is going to work out.
Thank you for your honesty.
Any
So,
questions?
so this is going behind the basketball. I'm just trying to, so the basketball court sits here, it's going this way. Is that right?
Going along the fence row almost.
On that back side?
Basketball court, kind of that little building.
Yeah, behind that building?
Right there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, very good.
So
Yeah.
it should be great.
Do we need to do any approvals for Public Works or Recreation Department to do work here? Okay. What's the value of that
It's all
work?
part of, it's been all part of the budget actually since last year.
Okay.
It's in the budget, so.
So that goes back to the original
It does.
improvements
It
at the
does.
park now?
It does.
Okay, good. Questions, Kevin?
Nice job.
Thank y'all.
All right, thank you,
All right,
Jessica.
thank you.
All right. Council members, I put just a catch-all budget questions in there because I thought, since it's on the agenda, we probably needed a spot in there to, if you had any final questions, you should have received your final budget book. I know that as recently as 15 minutes ago, we're still scrambling, changing a few pages out, but do you have any questions, anything in particular?
Councilman Burrell, we do have a budget summary, a
Okay.
presentation to do under the mayor's comments, where I'm happy for us to walk through that now, if you feel like we would have more time to do that. Or we
I
can
think
do
have
it.
plenty of time to do it now.
I
if you
mean,
want.
we'll be happy to do that now, if you'd like for us to.
I say, yeah, it may spur some questions
Okay.
too, so, yeah.
Oh, by the way.
Go ahead and throw Kim under the bus. Look, see, they already pulled the presentation up and everything. So first and foremost, I want to thank the staff again, Kim and Iselin and Sarah. They've all been great. The department directors working with them to get this budget together and present it tonight. So thank you for what you've done. This budget summary, the first thing that we have is a few budget highlights. Some things that I want to review real quick are the infrastructure and growth continues to be a concern and primary focus, obviously, for the city. Some things that you will see is utility investments of over $23 million, resurfacing at over $400,000. Also, we have the Restore grant that we continue to have for the sewer upgrades, which is $10 million. Of course, we all want to protect our natural resources and the environment for all of us to enjoy. So we are making an investment in our parks this year in the proposed budget of $2.9 million. That includes a track at Founders, which will be a joint partnership with the Board of Education and also Fairhope Single Tax. Some improvements at the Rotary Youth Club, some baseball fields and some restroom facilities at Valana, some new lighting, and also that number does not include $6.2 million for the Working Waterfront project that will provide some enhancements at our beachfront park. I can't speak. The other thing that is a priority, too, is obviously customer service. It's something that I strive to do a better job of every day to serve the citizens of Fairhope. But some things that we're doing in the proposed budget would be the AMI, or the automated metering infrastructure in the electric department, and also the Invoice Cloud online payment system, which was approved this past year that we will be implementing in the upcoming months. Also adding a couple new employees in customer service to be able to meet the demand of the growth that we're seeing, but to better serve our customers as well. The other thing I think everybody is struggling with this year in particular is employee retention. We all know that keeping the employees that you have and recruiting new employees is very competitive right now. So some things that we're doing to retain those employees, but to also attract new employees is merit increases is one thing that's in the budget. Also some pay adjustments, as well as some of those lower paid employees, being able to give them a little bit of a bump to make a more competitive salary for some entry level positions. Longevity pay, which will allow us to give increases, a one-time, I guess, like our one-time Christmas increase that we get, or a one-time pay increase, that will be based on their years of service. So anything from 0 to 4 years will be $250. Anything from 5 to 14 would be $500, and then 15 plus would be $1,000. The other thing we are adding in this year would be the Simple Health Clinic, which will be an employee health clinic where we can treat our employees for, I guess, non-life-threatening medical conditions, sinuses, also manage some of those chronic illnesses that they have to try to get, make sure health care costs stay under control. Also, some of the vaccines and things that we do if employees need hepatitis vaccines, like our wastewater treatment plant, or sanitation employees, or flu shots, that Simple Health Clinic will be able to do all that. So those are just a few things that you're going to see in this proposed budget. Obviously, it's a $113 million budget that's combined with the general fund and also the utilities. You'll see a breakdown of that, but it's a large budget, and I'm very proud of the work that was done, and I hope it's something the council will be proud of, and hopefully we'll get that passed tonight. I'm going to turn it over to Kim to let her review.
Thank you, Mayor. Council,
What I did here was just being able to try to do some comparisons where you can see this budget has significantly increased, and it's because of infrastructure that we are putting in place in this budget. And you can really see in water and sewer fund the increase of 120%. And that's the major increases that you really can see there. Do you have any questions there? That's kind of a big shocker of a slide.
So Kim, on the capital projects funds, that, a lot of that is due in part to restore money?
In that capital projects fund, it's a multitude. What's in there could be, it's different grants. Also, there's about $600,000 that's coming over from general fund to the capital projects fund that we have included in there. There's the track is included in that fund, some restrooms, trying to think, your resurfacing is all paid out of that fund. And that fund was set up, I believe, years ago specifically for building parks. You know, it's just going to be capital infrastructure.
I wanted to touch on something in one of the prior slides. I think I can just say, if you, I want to mention on the smart metering on the AMI program for council and for the audience as well, that $2.2 million is we have that money already set aside in let's just, best word to use maybe a rebate from AMEA. So that money is not new money that we have to come up with. That's money that we've been saving over the last several years to pay for that.
Basically, it was available past years. We chose not to take it to bankroll.
Yeah, that's
to this-
exactly right.
to this
Yes, we
year.
chose not to take it and spend it on something
Right.
else. We
It
chose
rolls over.
to save it and rolls over. That's right. It's roughly $500,000 a year. Okay. All right, Kim, sorry.
And probably one other that sticks out is the impact fees. So those impact fees are ones that we've, I would say, recognized in the past couple of years, and that's, majority of that money is going towards the parks, that, the baseball parks that's being built. That's where that money is actually coming from those impact fees, and it's being transferred into the capital projects fund.
Why do we have a 0 to 3.9 million in sanitation and there's a 0% change?
So I put a note on there, sanitation is a new fund that we're pulling the sanitation cost out because a majority of that, the cost of that is coming through utility bills.
Okay.
300,000 of that's general fund, but if we take that they were in general fund last year, the general fund increase would be 11%. So that's the reason I made a note to be able to make sure I told you all about that. But it is in a separate fund this coming year. And it'd be easier for y'all to be able to see, you know, income and the expenses going forward for that sanitation fund, and to be able to see the increase in the rates.
Okay.
Here's just an overall view of the general fund revenue, so you could be able to see where your revenues are coming from for general fund. You can see the ad valorem tax, 22%. Our local tax, that's going to be your sales tax. Your lodging tax is 38%. License and permits, 13%. But this is just an overall, so you can see where your revenues are coming from for the general fund. This next slide is showing how you're spending that money. Being able to see in public safety, that's a combination of your fire and your police. You can see where your public works, but I just thought this would be just for you to be able to see on a chart how you're spending your money in your general fund.
Okay.
Questions? The next part of the presentation is just to talk about your investments. So we're going to do sections on investment in infrastructure, and investment into your capital equipment. Starting with recreation, Founders Competition Track, $1 million. Founders Bathrooms, $115,000. Volanta's baseball field with LED lights, there's 4 new fields, restroom facilities, $1.2 million. The Boys and Girls Park improvements and new playground equipment, $163,000. LED lights at the tennis club or tennis center, $35,000. LED lights at the high school softball field at Founders Park, $85,000. And electrical upgrades at Fairhope Docks, $239,000.
For these items in the budget, are we anticipated to complete these next year as well?
They're in the budget. I don't know the answer to the second question, though. Okay.
No, the track, we're not investing $1 million in that track.
No.
No.
Okay.
That's a joint venture with Single Tats, the school system, and us. So $350,000 is coming from the city.
Right, okay. I know you said that just a short time ago, but then when I saw the 1 mil in parentheses, I had to just double check.
That's the total investment.
Okay.
Streets Department resurfacing, $400,000. Greeno turn lane, $688,000. And answer, that is part of an MPO project. Bratz Hub Shelter, 1.1 million. That, again, that's going to be an MPO project. The Clock Corner improvement, $75,000. Church Street drainage project, what we've got left on that project was $437,000. And then Safe Room, that is a grant also, with a 20% match of $650,000.
One thing that's not on here also, and it's something that should happen in next year with the MPO, is the roundabout at Veterans in 104. That's also slated for next year.
We get a lot of emails, we get a lot of phone calls about that, and that's been, we tried to move that up a year. It was scheduled for 2023, and we hope that we've got it moved up to 2022 now.
Good job.
Appreciate y'all on the MPO.
Yeah. Good job.
Is that Safe Room, is that our 20% match, the 650, or is that was the
That's
total?
total.
All these
That's
were total
total.
projects?
Totals.
Yeah,
Those are
total
all
investments.
those are all totals.
Okay. All right.
Civic Center, its improvements to the Civic Center is $40,000. Resurfacing the parking lot, $57,000. Next Center, building improvements, $354,000. Quail Creek Golf Course, the cart path renovations is $80,000. And then we have a drainage and a cart path improvement of $400,000. And the
grant.
drainage and cart path, that is a
That's
grant also.
Yeah. That's the emergency
Also, on the
watershed.
next center, some of that is insurance money. Correct, Kim?
Yes, that is,
FEMA.
that's the,
Yeah.
from Hurricane Sally. Gas Department, a total of almost 2.3 million. Church Street Fallout Project, continuing with it. The gate station improvements, I even put that wrong, cast iron replacement will begin, and system improvements.
Cash iron sounds right.
I know.
That's no pun. That's a-
Pun intended?
I think everybody understands that.
Yes.
That's right.
He's thinking, all this
All
cash.
this cash. On iron.
Yes. Electric Department infrastructure, 4.5 million. Substation upgrades continue. The automated metering infrastructure, North Greeno Road, light improvements, and office and warehouse improvements. Water Department infrastructure, 8.3 million. Water main upgrades, water distributions, systems main replacement, Church Street project, water and plan well upgrades and repairs, and office and warehouse improvements. Questions? Wastewater Department infrastructure, 10 million. Force main upgrades, again, Church Street project, sewer lift station upgrades, including generators, equipment repairs, and upgrades to the wastewater treatment plant. Any questions there? And then the the end part of the slides is about capital investment in our capital equipment. I don't know if you want me to go in detail with all these, but we can. General government, warehouse sweeper, 14,014,500. Downtown speaker systems, 12,000. Building department vehicles, 24,000. Police department, 7 new police cars, police vehicles with equipment, 360,000. Meter department vehicle, 27,000. Have any questions?
One thing I would just like to mention, like on the police department, 3 of those vehicles were carried over from last year. And that's what you're going to see in several departments. I think there's 2 trucks on the agenda tonight that have been on the agenda 3 times. Because every time we try to purchase them, then they're either sold out from underneath us or they're not on the lot anymore once we go back and try to purchase those. So we literally have to leave like right after the council meeting and drive to the dealership and sit there in the lot and wait for them to open the next morning in order to get the vehicles that we want. So it's gotten really bad. So I don't want people to think some of these are carryovers also from this year.
Yeah.
On the fire department, Station 1 generator, 62,000. Air tank system, 70,000. Vehicles, 80,000. Recreation center, spin bikes of 42,000. Streets department vehicles, 187,000. A mini excavator, 75,000. Concrete mixer truck, 138,000. Fleet department, 114,000. Have any questions there? Quail Creek, grounds equipment, 125,000. A wheel grinder, not sure exactly what that is, but 36,000. Library, the York chiller and controls, y'all probably do remember approving that York chiller. My understanding it still has not been,
It's been forever ago, hasn't it?
Yeah.
yeah, it hadn't even been started, I don't
Were
think.
you even on the council court?
I was. That was
Were you still like in
19.
grade school?
I was in grade
It's been a
school.
while.
Yeah. Trying to get equipment.
Hurry up, wait.
Gas department, a hydrovac, and 176,000. Dump trailer, 15,000. Vehicles and truck bodies, 92,000. Electric department, bucket truck, and y'all, actually, we ordered that last year for it to come in for this coming year. Vehicle, 151,000. A pole trailer, 25,000. A water department, vehicles of 130,000. Mini excavator, 60,000. A tapping machine, 125,000. Wastewater, the wastewater department vehicles, 97,000. A sewer jetter vacuum truck, 415,000. And then our last, sanitation, a automated garbage truck, 286,000. Bulldozer, 380,000. And then a bush hog trash truck, 182,000.
Kim, with all these vehicles, do we sell quite a bit of the old surplus? Will we be selling quite a bit?
Yes, sir. We do those on Gov Deals. Don't have any problem selling them on Gov Deals.
Yeah, we'll sell some of them on Gov Deals, but the other thing is because we were able to do a really great fleet maintenance inventory, Iceland really worked hard on that, and working with Tim Bung and the mechanics, there's some that we can pass down to other departments too. Some of the vehicles, you know, I hate to say it, but Richard Johnson's department in Public Works tends to get the hand-me-downs, landscape does. So as some of those are able to retire, some of these other trucks we're able to put, you know, back in the fleet because they maybe have, you know, a couple more years of life to them.
And that's it on my presentation. Do y'all have any questions?
That was a great presentation, by the way. That
Yeah.
was excellent.
Thank you.
I think that it's important for people to see, you know, when they see a big number and a budget number, what all that money's being spent on. And I know that we've touched on this probably every budget meeting, but, and Kim, I may get you to jump in and help me, but know that, you know, with all of the improvements, I'll start with electrical because that's the easiest. With all of the improvements to the electrical substations, about $12 or $13 million, we're not borrowing any money for that. With all of the improvements to the gas, I believe that the way that pans out, we're not going to borrow any money to make the gas improvements. And then water and sewer, we'll burn through the cash as long as we can, and then we'll borrow very short-term borrowing on that, and that'll be paid for 5 times quicker than any other city in the country would pay for it. I can tell you that. We're not floating a 30-year bond or anything, or a 20-year bond. It'll be a
7 to 8 years.
be a 5-year plan. I do want to say one thing, though, council, and then I don't have to say it in the regular meeting, is that in looking at this budget, and we just have had so many needs. And when you look at the budget resolution, let me go ahead and just pull that budget resolution up from item 8. There's the third paragraph that says that we authorized a portion of the sales and use tax revenue that was restricted to the general fund debt prepayment account can be used for general fund operations. Well, we don't have really any general fund debt left to retire. So, and we've been doing that for some time, so we're going to divert that to the general fund for operations, a lot of which was presented tonight. And I talked that over with the mayor, and I had some concerns with that, and I talked to Kim about that, and really, we're also not making large transfers from utilities to the general fund. So, although we don't have that debt and we're not transferring money over from utilities and then maybe paying debt, we're leaving in utilities because of all the projects that we have going on there. But then the fourth paragraph that talks about it's the half a penny that's restricted to the capital projects fund, up to $2.5 million. That's being diverted to the general fund operations. And as I look through that, Kim and Mayor, it looks like there's an awful lot of stuff. Maybe it's just not labeled capital funds, but like ball fields, and those were the kind of things that I would have thought that would have gone to. So, and I say that because I was concerned about all that money being diverted away from capital improvements, but it looks like we are spending that. We had $6 million. That's why I asked you that question, Kim. Mm-hmm. We do have $6 million in capital improvements going on. So I'm not as concerned when I see that, what we're spending on, but I do think we really need to make sure, and I've got Kim, and I told her not to give it to me, in the next week, but she's going to put together a lot of numbers, department by department, expenses for the last, I think, 5 or 6 years, and so that we can look at every department and how the budget has grown. You just have to know where you've been, and we're going to also look at our revenue trends as well, just so we can start thinking towards next year if we need to. We made that ordinance for a reason, and I just want to make sure that we don't
Overextend ourselves.
overextend that, taking it and putting it in general operations. I think we all understand we're going through a period of growth, and we have not only do we have to buy or pay for salaries and equipment to provide those employees, but we also have a ton of infrastructure going on. But I hope that we can get back to some normalcy, that we can take that. When the sales tax was put into place, it was understood that a lot of this was going to be used for those purposes.
Yes, and in this budget does have, it's around $630,000 that is being transferred from the general fund to the capital projects for some of the projects, like the track, the 300,000 for the track. So I was able to move some money over there for those projects. And
So
then-
where's the rest of the money coming from then? That's what I don't, where's the rest of the, it's $6 million in capital improvement.
It's different grants. And we have some money that is excess from previous projects that are rolling over, that's been in that project. You've got the Bratz hub that's been in that, that's been there for a couple of years. So we have some of that that's been there, money's been sitting there for those projects. That's about 600,000 already there.
Okay.
And yeah, impact fees. So you can see where those impact fees are rolling over into the capital projects fund for streets, for parks.
Okay. So then I'm still concerned about the
Yeah.
half a penny. We just need to be mindful of it and looking how we can keep that for the purpose of which it was designated for, maybe next year and going forward.
You're good. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No more questions? We're all good? Any questions about that part of the resolution? Any parts of the resolution, I mean? Everybody clear on the salaries and the raise and how all that works out? Okay. All right, very good. All right. We'll move on to committee updates. Councilman Martin?
Well, I think we're going to start rearranging the Fairhope Environmental Board's time as far as when we meet. I think that was the last email I saw. It was a collective thought that was going to try to rearrange that. I don't know the time right now or the day, but we were meeting at Friday at 3, and yeah, that was a very difficult time. So I think we're going to start rearranging that. They had questions. Do we have anything about the area where the Boys Scouts was, where we were talking about creating a pond? We've pushed that back, correct? Because of their recommendations.
We have pushed that back because of their
Okay.
recommendations.
They were concerned that we was going forward with that, but I want to publicly speak that we're not. We took their recommendations to heart, and we're not proceeding with that. So I think that's all I have as far as my committee updates.
And Council President, I have no committee updates at this time.
Councilman Boone?
I'll have them at the next meeting. We're meeting, Personnel Board and the Harbor Board will be meeting this week,
Okay.
and next week.
Same with me. Airport Authority meets tomorrow. So, we haven't met them. We meet once a month, so I'll have an update at the next council meeting. Okay. Department head updates. Kim? You gave a pretty big update. Anything else? Okay. Mr. Johnson?
Aslan?
Yeah, real quick, kind of tying in what you see in the budget. We had the pre-construction meeting and issued the notice to proceed on the Pecan building, which you approved the contract at last meeting. So they expect to have demo crews in there possibly by the end of this week, started on that. So, and I actually got to meet the gentleman who's going to be running the Symbol Clinic. And so he's excited, we're excited, and hopefully it's full speed ahead. Twin Beach continues to progress around the weather and still shooting for that target date in about 10 days to be out of there. And they haven't backed off that. On the MPO
great.
project for the
Yeah.
Gayfer Avenue turn lanes and signal improvements, we hopefully completed the last bit of ALDOT documents today and turned those in. So hopefully they're going to give us the notice to move ahead to advertising and getting that project going as well. Y'all did fund the engineering for the North Ingleside drainage, and that engineer has completed that. We reviewed it, and hopefully we'll get that out to bid ASAP. And then just kind of a fun little project is slowly advancing. We've been working with Single Tax on Nichols, new sidewalks, and Earl and his crews have been working on the footings for the new bridge. We're going to get it installed as well as the approach, and then the Single Tax Corporation will tie all that together. So we're kind of excited about that little infrastructure project. So a lot going on.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Always
you.
with you.
Any other
Always.
questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
Mr. Hall? Okay. Pat?
Good evening. Just to let you know, the Barnwood Sports Complex has had a lot done in the last several weeks. The pavilions got constructed, new roof on the building. We started painting both buildings today. We did fix the driveway where nobody's going to lose a bumper or an axle. We will start constructing on the new ball fields at Valana this winter. We're kind of waiting till football is over with so we don't mess parking up too much, but we anticipate having those ready for spring. And we have a big football game this Friday night. Fairhope is doing really well this year, so we hope to bring home another victory Friday night against Baker. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pat.
Jessica, anything else?
The only thing I really wanted to mention was a reminder that we have comprehensive plan neighborhood meetings. The first of those start next week. The first one will be Thursday night at 6:30 at Quill Creek at the clubhouse with Bobby. The second will be next Friday, the 22nd at 10 a.m. here at the Civic Center. Our public kickoff was really great a few weeks ago, but these neighborhood meetings are going to be key to hear from our residents. So we will have another 2 coming up in November and 2 in December, and then dates yet to be announced for January, February, and March.
So we're going neighborhood to neighborhood.
I'm sorry.
We're going neighborhood to
You
neighborhood.
better believe it, yes.
So we're just sending flyers or emails to those people in the
Well, so they're
neighborhoods?
open to the public. So everyone is open to the public because we understand that people have different schedules and they can come at night or they can come in the morning. So we're saying that these are all open to the public.
Okay.
So we have got the ones coming up in November, and there are flyers and there's a poster outside, but the ones coming up in November the 4th will be at Rotary Youth Club at 6 p.m. and on the 5th will be at the Nick Center at 10 a.m. And then in December we'll meet at Homestead Village. We'll be going out to see residents at Homestead Village and anyone else who wants to come out, and then also at Thompson Hall Fire Station. So, we're trying to be in locations where we can have as many people as possible, whether they are part of that neighborhood or neighborhoods
That's
that are
what I'm
surrounding.
asking. I didn't know if y'all were
Yeah.
just attacking the individual, marketing each neighborhood, or how we were doing it.
No, but we are sending out notifications through planning to the HOAs.
That's what I'm
Also
asking.
through Lisa's email that she does all public notices for. We're also doing social media, email blast, flyers. You'll see some street signs go up in those areas, let them know where the community meetings are. So we're doing everything we possibly can to reach out to those areas, let them know meetings are going on in their neighborhood.
If you're interested in wearing a sandwich board, standing on the
that's
corner
right.
right there at Fairhope Avenue and Greeno, just
I
let me
forgot how
know.
to turn
You
it.
want to twirl
Yeah.
a sign? Twirl a sign?
Excuse me.
But we want as many people as possible, so,
Okay.
thank you.
Jeremy?
Oh.
What? Legal dudes leaving because I showed up. No major updates for me. Matter of fact, sitting there, I forgot, Mayor, I didn't send you a weekly report Friday, sorry. No major updates. So, did I? I have to send them when I don't even know I sent them. That's how good I am.
So we got, give us some news on Morphe.
Morphe site, they, all that rain shut things down, so I went out there this morning, nobody was there, so I'm gonna give them a buzz. Had some nice dry days, so they need to get started back on that. The walls up, actually, our system study, the engineer showed up this morning, sent a guy with him all day. They rode out there and looked at it and took some pictures, so I think he was okay with it, the way it's coming, so that's a good sign. But, yeah, so the system study started today. It's gonna be a lengthy process, you guys know that. And then, what else was I gonna say? Oh, the bid opened at 4612, should open at the end of the month. He was positive about that. Putting it off allowed some of them people to get back in town to be able to bid on it, so that's good. We should have some good guys, qualified bidders for that. And that's all I have. The AMI kickoff meeting, we did meet with Cormay and Katama and AMEA and the mayor and some utility heads, and that is that's going to be a great project. Excited about that. It's going to be busy.
So when do you
But
think the old
official.
Nichols Avenue substation will be shuttered approximately?
It's going to be a while. Yeah. I would say this time next year we should be.
You think a
up
year?
and kicking. I'll know better after the end of this month. Give you a better timeline from the bidders and contractors to come in and bid on it. Yeah, I would see it taking that long to get everything, the 46 built into it, distribution coming out of it, and then to get everything commissioned, and then to shut down that and switch it over is gonna be pretty lengthy, so.
Okay.
But yeah, once that's done though, we can dismantle it and whatever you guys approve to do with it from that point.
Okay.
Hopefully sooner than that, but that's what I would expect. 10 months to a year. Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Chief?
Bless you.
Well, I am very excited to announce, excuse me, sorry, that the Fairhope Police Department is about to host its very first Citizens Police Academy. It's going to kick off in January. It's going to be a 6-week program. We're actually taking applications right now through our social media. We hope to get about 30 applicants, or at least 30 participants into this class. So it's going to last about 6 weeks, where we'll meet 1 day a week for about 2 hours, and we'll just go through or go over things that we do in what we do in the department. Kind of gets us to know our citizens, lets our citizens know what we're doing, and so we're really excited about that.
Okay.
Very good.
Where is it? Terry, you want to go first?
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Afternoon.
I'm here. Everything's going pretty smooth in the gas department. With all the rain we've had in the past, it's just now drying out enough where we can get back to normal. And I did last time, I wanted to thank y'all. I wasn't able to, but I want to thank y'all for doing the ride around. I've been here 25 years, and that's the first time I've ever seen that happen. So I appreciate y'all riding around to look at the system to see really what's out there. It means a lot, and it's important for y'all to see that. I think we need to do a little bit more ride around. We need to see a few other things, but that's to come. I do appreciate that. Appreciate y'all doing that. Other than that, on Church Street, as we know, we find something different and new every day. We found another 3-inch high-pressure gas line that nobody knew was there. So that's going to probably be something that we're going to have to kill at a later time. We thought we was going to have to do it now because of the drainage, but there's plenty of room. But we will have to go back and kill that and get it out of town. It's not going anywhere. It's a dead end. It used to come from the old police station back, and it's how it wrapped around. We've always thought it'd come up section and turned, but it does not. It went around Magnolia.
Okay.
So it's another hidden gem. Let's hope we don't find too many more of them hidden gems.
I got a sneaky suspicion you're going to find more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It is what it is.
But really, that's all I've got. Y'all have any questions for me? Well, I was going to wait till 2 weeks, but I'll go ahead and mention. So last week, the PSC was here doing our annual inspection, and everything's went pretty smooth. Probably the last half a day, they had an accident in Dothan and had the emergency and had to leave. So we're down to probably half a day's inspection left. We're sending them a lot of the information via email. So if they're going to accept that or if they're going to come back down one day, we don't know as of yet. They may come back down one day and they may take our work through the email. But other than that, it went fairly well.
So they're happy with the progress being made?
Yes, they're the past couple of years, they're extremely happy with what we've done and how far we've come and what we're trying to do.
Good.
They understood about the cash iron? Sorry.
Yeah, that cash iron thing, something that we really need to tell them, but, that's it, and that's all good. It's just a progress. They know it's gonna take time, and it's a lot to do, and it's not an easy task, so.
We thank you.
Okay,
And we
no
said
questions?
last meeting, glad to have you back.
I'm glad to be back.
Looking good,
I'll
Terry.
bet.
Yep.
Yeah, you look much better, man.
A little bit every day.
Yeah, very good.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Jason, you gonna speak for water and sewer? I didn't know if Tim wanted to speak. He looked so happy back there. I thought maybe he wanted to talk.
That's right. Amen to that. Just a couple updates, but the first is a clarification I seen on the news. We made the news. That's an incorrect story. So
About
I
the
just
water
wanted to
quality?
clarify
Manganese?
that.
You talking about the manganese?
The well 4, it meets all statutory requirements. There's nothing wrong with well 4. We're running it every day. Well 5 is the only well that has been shut off because of elevated manganese. Okay?
Yeah, where'd they get that information? I was wondering, that was sent to me.
Wasn't for me, because I don't speak on behalf
Yeah,
of
I
the
know, they
city.
had you quoted in there though, so I was like.
If they
wow.
did, it was right here, because I
Yeah.
haven't talked to nobody.
I got you. That's interesting.
But it's the kind of world we live in. You have to make a story, and there's not one there. So there's not. So just wanted to clarify that. A couple of things that we had, all the rain that we dealt with, we had a few upsets. The guys did great. We have great crews. They were out night and day to limit the issues that we did have. But we had a lot of rain. I think we had like 5 inches that fell within just like a 3 or 4 hour period. So we had some stations that completely went underwater. And we'll talk about that further. We've got some ideas, and we're going to move forward on that we can do some of this ourselves to limit this. So we'll talk further as time goes. And then we also lost power on the east side of Greeno due to a MVA, I believe, with Riviera. We had 5 stations without power, and the guys responded, I think, from my understanding, faster than the power did, and take care of the stations. They set a bypass up on Fairfield and babysitted the others till the power came back on. So, you know, we've got some great crews, and you'll see our overtime is very high, but that's actual work. There's nobody riding a clock. They're actually working. And I still am amazed at what we get done in a week-by-week time. And the only other thing, like you said, Tim and Curtis are here. And I always want to give our guys an attaboy, but Tim and Curtis are exceptional. And I hope you all understand how I feel, that they're, you know, you can't replace them. And if it wasn't for them, we couldn't get the job done. So I just want to tell them publicly, I appreciate everything they do. And, you know, if something happens to me today or tomorrow, y'all are in great hands. You don't need me. You got 2 right there that can run this, okay? That's all I have. Unless you want to talk about the only item I have on the,
What is it? What number is that?
it's just the 2 trucks. I think it's, pardon me for not being able to see. I think it's 12, maybe?
12, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Nah, we're good.
We're good?
Nah, we're good.
Thank you.
Jeff, you got anything today?
He does. There's 2 things on there. Yeah.
Come to think of it, yeah.
Give you an update on the sewer plant. Several months ago, an item was on the agenda to recable the sewer plant, and that project is about 95% complete, should be completed end of this week, and definitely helped out that department, future-proofed it, and but the project went well, and that's about all I got. I got a couple items on the agenda tonight.
While you're up there, let's cover those real quick, see if we have any questions.
Some new software for patch management. It will cover all Windows products as well as third-party products. That was suggested through Warren Everett. And then we've got the Kronos, just a yearly Kronos support renewal for us, our timekeeping system.
So remind me, Jeff, on that patch software, and it's a small expense, but I'm just curious.
Sure.
Does that actually perform the patches for the various, or does it just let you know that all these different outside of, so you know Microsoft always has these patches and everything, and then there's providers of software that will say, okay, you need this patch and that patch, but they don't really specialize in it, and so this is software that specializes in the patch management, right?
Right.
But do they perform the actual patching?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Okay.
So what's good about it is if, like, you know, you hear on the news that, let's say, last one that comes to mind was a principal or vulnerability that came out with Microsoft, so we can search the article. There's always a knowledge base article associated with a vulnerability, so we could search that knowledge base article, and it'll show us all the computers that are vulnerable, and we could just basically highlight them and say patch, and it'll just go through and fix the vulnerability.
Okay.
It's really, really good software. We were able to trial it for about a month before we, you know, made a decision to move forward with it. And it met all of our needs.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Very good. All right.
Nice.
Thank you. I saw the other one was the timekeeping system, right? Yeah.
Yes, that's Kronos yearly support for our timekeeping system.
All right. Mike? No, you good? Eric?
Let y'all know you're going to see, you'll probably get some questions about things. Currently, what we have going on, the site work permit for the USA Map Building at 104 and 181 has been turned loose. Building permit has been turned loose, so they're about to start there. The Aldi's land disturbance permit across from Walmart has been turned loose, and they're about to get started there. We are having the pre-construction meeting for the site work at the Reserve, which is the retirement center at the corner of Volanta and Greeno. We're having that on Friday, and as soon as we get done with that meeting, they're coming to get their land disturbance permit and start putting in infrastructure. We have 2 hangars currently under construction. I had a long conversation, a Zoom meeting with an architect today about a couple of 18,000 square foot hangars that they are in the process of designing. So we had a conversation about that. I've talked to 3 or 4 different architects in the last 3 weeks about downtown projects, things, renovations or new builds in the downtown area. Right now, we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 subdivisions that are under construction with land disturbance, and then you've seen the ones that have come to the council for preliminary plat. So we got all that going on. Thank you to the council for the new iPads. Jeff's getting us set up. The guys are using them out in the field, so we very much appreciate you approving that. And I want to give some credit to the guys, the inspectors, and the permit techs in the department. Martha Smith has passed her ICC certification as a permit tech, which is a separate certification. Sean Bradley got his mechanical inspector certification in the last 3 months. Cameron Nixon has gotten certification for higher level electrical inspection, and Billy Nelson passed his certified floodplain manager exam last Wednesday, and that's a pretty big one because now we have 2 on staff, which will help our ISO rating and help us with our insurance stuff that we do with FEMA. So.
Okay.
Thanks, Eric.
All right. Thank you, Eric. I think that's it for department heads. Lisa, do you have anything?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the agenda meeting real quick. This shouldn't take very long. Item number 5 was a public hearing, so we'll just wait for that time. Item number 6 is amending Chapter 20 of the Streets and Traffic Committee.
Mm-hmm.
And then 7 is an ordinance to declare that certain real property, i.e. the K1 Center, is not needed for public purpose. And you see that exhibit. Well, you know, we've been working on that a long time. That lease we have stated to run from October the 1st, although today is October the what, 11th?
Mm-hmm.
Jay is not here. Would y'all consider going ahead and doing a final adoption of that? I can tell you that Marcus and I have been back and forth with Fife, and I think that all the T's have been crossed and all the I's have been dotted on that. I think the final version, their attorney agreed with that last week after Marcus and I had another sit down for several hours. So what do you think, Mayor? I mean, it allowed them to get going, and they had the actual groundbreaking, right? They did not have it yet. They're waiting to have it then. I know, they're waiting on us.
Tuesday, October the 5th? They didn't have it? Okay. Okay.
Oh, because of the weather?
Yeah.
I mean, and I've only heard from one citizen that was concerned somewhat about the terms of the contract, but that's all I've heard from. So, I mean, I don't think there's a problem with it. We've been talking about it for a long time. It's been talked about in work sessions and in
Years.
meetings. Yeah, so
Yeah, a couple of
I don't see a
years.
problem with it.
Okay, all right. Well, we don't have to consider it for final adoption, but I think it might be nice. I just don't see anything changing on that at all. And I don't think it's controversial either.
I'm good with it. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
good with it. Yeah.
All right.
That's,
Okay.
Bonnie, you okay? No.
Okay, item 8 is the budget, which we went through the mayor's presentation during the work session. Thank you, Kim. If you look at the detailed resolution, there's a lot more in that than is stated on the agenda. So if you have any questions, please bring them up during such time. We'll be considering that. Holidays. I think you could ask Lisa or the mayor or I about that.
Those holidays are what's in the handbook,
Right. Even that half day,
even the half-day.
that is in the handbook now?
It's Christmas Eve is the half-day.
Okay, all right. All right. Number 10. Richard, would that be you if we have questions about that?
I didn't think I had anything on the agenda.
Yeah, professional engineering services for Project 2 Bayou Drive. Oh, I'm sorry, this is transmission. Never mind, I just read the first part.
You scared me there.
No, I was thinking drainage, sorry. All right. That will be Jason? And then item 11, Terry, that'd be you, I guess. And then Jason, those budgeted items on number 12. Jimmy, you've looked that up, haven't you? Probably been budgeted for
Which
a year
one?
now. Yeah, rollover.
Yeah, they're budgeted. They're rollovers. They're rollovers.
Yeah.
looked
And I
at
like the way you did this. We don't technically roll things over. We put it in the 2022, so.
Well,
yeah,
that's what it
Thanks
says.
for doing
Yeah,
that.
it
But it
says-
wasn't spent in 2021, right?
Right. It actually says 2022 budget, if you look
Okay.
at the green sheet.
Right. Kim or Jason there. 13 was Jeff, 14 was Jeff. I don't think we have any questions about that. 15, I think we could ask maybe Lisa if you have any questions about that. And 16, I think you could ask either myself or Councilman Martin about that. And then 17, 18, we'll ask the police chief, and I think that's it. Let's go ahead and adjourn. We're done a little early. And let's start on time. Let's get here a few minutes before 6.